As I've had a change of heart on this thing, it's actually working out fairly well. The image, for some reason, I'm getting used to the image. It wasn't initially what I anticipated, since I was looking at 2.5K in the rear and 4K in the front, but that's all with video recording. But this is actually fairly reasonable, especially compared to what I'm seeing here. It's definitely nicer not to have. I like to remove this here, and it's actually pretty. It's just not bad. You know, again, I think you could do better in night vision, but again, this has grown on me, and this is a really nice 12-inch display that no one has any. No one else really comes with a bigger size, and that's really why I went down this route. And I think it's been great. Once again, this is the Pelsee P12 Pro, and I recommend it. Thank you. Hey guys, here it is, the Pelsee P12 Pro. Again, I've had a bit of a change of heart in this. You know, I think it's actually been doing pretty well for me. Initially, my first response was that didn't think it was as clear as the one from this, and it wasn't as clear as I wanted it to be, even though it was still better than, or even somewhat close to what the Cybertruck one does. But it's growing on me. I think it's actually been doing a great job. I even churned off the one in my screen there, just using this here. Yeah, I think it's great so far. I think it's doing well so far for me, and I'm actually kind of happy with it. My initial video, I didn't seem to be too impressed, but I am now liking it. So again, I can't deny that big old 12-inch display as compared to the others. So, and I did some research on the other ones of this size. They pretty much have the same resolution when you're getting the image in real time. So really not going to get much more clarity than this, but it's actually been doing pretty well. So I'm actually happy with it. Just want to make sure you guys know that I think it's a keeper. I'm keeping it, and yeah, hopefully you guys can do the same. Again, this is my install here, just that wire up to here. Pretty minimal. All right, thanks for watching. Guys, here is some night driving, or at least early morning driving. See how it blurs sometimes when there's some speed or changes. This is again compared to
in 500 feet. Now turn right.
So at night kind of blurs a little bit at times, which is again not great. But it's a little more light here than the one on the Cybertruck. See, I'm making a churn now, and it's getting really blurry, and then it'll kind of render back. Making a churn here. For some reason, making churns, it just gets blurry.
In 500 feet.
There we go. I'm going to be making a churn. We should watch that tree get nice and blurry. See the blurriness? Okay, that's not great, but it's not bad. It's primarily only with churns compared to Cybertrucks. This is the biggest display you can have here on the Cybertruck. So again, it's not great. Kind of take some videos to see what it looks like with cars behind you. See how it blurs right there on the churn? And then it'll render back. Again, still not great. Really, still kind of a little fuzzy on the night display. Car behind me. All you can really make out is just lights. Unfortunately, you can't really see the car. I'm sure the recording is great because it's 2.5K from rear and 4K in the front. But in terms of this real-time display, yeah, it's just not great. So just at a standstill here. Not pretty decent, not bad. But watch what happens when we move and churn.
Now turn left onto Jamacha Road.
There's a car behind us there. A couple cars behind us there compared to here. It's not as fuzzy on the Cybertruck, but it's just really bright here. It's hard to tell. The picture, I would say, the real life picture looks better than what I'm capturing on camera. But just give you an idea here, the difference. Okay guys, I'm here, my Cybertruck. I'm gonna first install this Pelsee PK mirror, rearview mirror. I'm gonna first remove this part here. On top of the, I'm on right now, I'm on my truck bed. Move this part here. The way to do so is that you need a torque wrench, and you gotta remove these two that sit on both sides of the Cybertruck. I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. It's important when you do so because when you take this off, things can fall down below here. To prevent that, what a lot of people do is put towels in here, which will prevent it from going down below. However you want to do that, just put a towel here to prevent it from going below. So if that piece comes off, it's going to go down and not, it's going to go, if this piece comes off, it's going to go down, hopefully end up on the truck bed, not down here or somewhere in there. All right guys, I went ahead and removed the screws, and the way that this is supposed to come off, I'll show you now. One other thing, you have to be careful. You got to make sure you don't strip these screws, because it's not hard. It's kind of hard to get in there underneath this thing and screw this off. So you just have to be very careful that you're not stripping it. So the way this is supposed to come off is that you're supposed to lift up, and then it's supposed to come out. So this part just pops up. Just pops up like that. I managed to get this part off, so I just slid the wire in there, and I'll mount this right here in the, so that should work well. Let's go ahead and put this back on. So I measured this part here is about 64 inches, so the middle is right around 32. Okay, so you guys don't have to do this calculation. Middle is about 32. That's where you would put your camera. And I'll leave the link. I got this camera cover through Etsy. It was like around 30 bucks or so, but it's really nice, and I can put the link on there and where you could get it. You do have to order it through somebody, and he will send it to you. I'm gonna feed this wire to the camera, to the other end of the camera, is we're gonna feed it through here, and it's gonna come out through here, and then we're gonna be able to go ahead and attach it down below, lift this up, and attach it below. Okay guys, I'm going to show you here, look at how I do this. A coat hanger. These will be handy to use. So essentially putting them through here. You can see how it comes up from here. So you can see that on the other end. So tape at the other end. Here. Okay. Just going to tape the other end here. The reason why this tool is helpful is you can kind of get away in here, pull this part up a little bit. This actually comes off, but I find that it's fine just by pull this up there. This just pushes in. all you have to do. Now take the tape off. Alright, now we have this here. We just pull this through. Hide this red wire. This is going to go across here, but hide this red part in here. This part's going to stick up here, but this part can be hidden in here. This wire is essentially for if you wanted to hook it up to the reverse wiring. When you put it in reverse, it can show up in the dash cam. We don't need that because Cybertrucks have, or all Teslas have nice reverse cameras, so we do not need this. So, and that will dig in right in here. I'll take this all the way up there, but first let's take care of this part here. To put these corner pieces back in here, into this area here, to put this part back in, it is almost mandatory that you have to use this, because I recommend doing it by hand. Don't use a drill because you don't want to strip those bolts, but using a ratchet tool, man, that was huge. That really helped. And I think I think it fell down below, unfortunately. I probably lost that part, but oh well, I'm sure I can get another. But this is really, really handy. At this point, it's really just about just underneath here. You can also maneuver it in with your fingers here. So, continuing on to here. This will continue going here. Let me go to the other side. Lip here, it goes underneath the lip. Let me show you here. It goes underneath this lip here. You guys can see that underneath that lip here, and covers it up nicely. You can push that back in even further. Now, what we have to do is pull down this part here. I already fed the wire that you can see here for the power. I already fed that through. That came down through here and down below here. All I did is just take apart this piece here. Very easy. You just take this apart here, and this little piece comes out, as you can see there. And I just fed it from up here. And I'll show you how to. We'll bring this part down. I fed it through, and here down, and then hit it down here, and then just ran the power wire all the way in the back there, just pretty much hidden. You can kind of see it. Right over there, there's a little piece of it right there. And all the way back here and to the power. Let's move this out of the way. You do have to bring this down. Oh, the clip broke off. So what you have to do now, we got to feed this through like we did the other. Got to feed this through like we did the other one. So we're going to find a way for this to go through here. Now this goes underneath the airbag. Now I'm just going to tape this here like we did before. Okay. And then just feed it through. Just like that came through. Now that's through. I just got to move this part out. And now all we got to do is feed this wire through. I'm going to push this wire along in the back because I want it to go underneath the airbags and out of the way of the airbags. So I'm just going to push it through into the back here. Give it some give here. So it's out of the way of the airbags. And just put this back. All right, that's it. Could find my my drill bit there, but basically that's the torque screw there that I used to take off that back part. So this is what I use to just build a ratchet system on how you can ratchet it back together. And I'm specifically talking about that part back there, that screw back in there, and put it back in there. To put it back together, I did take it off by hand. I recommend using this to take it off. Putting it back on was very difficult. It's just very hard screw to put in. You just need a lot of power. You can't get a lot. When getting your hand in there underneath this, it's kind of hard to, to screw it back in. So using this was just very helpful. So I highly recommend that. But you can see there is the camera that I put up. Looks pretty nice. And the setup here, can't really tell if there's anything there. You can tell it right here, but it goes there. I hid it behind the airbag so the airbags can deploy and it shouldn't cause any problems. And now I just ran it through here, and now I'm just going to basically connect it to this camera, and that's it. We're done. Okay, so now we put this camera back on. The way I'm going to put this, it's going to be, I'm going to take just the middle part here, stretch it way back there, then go back and put it back like this, and then go back and like that. That's, I don't know if you saw that, but I'm going to take the middle part, just this part here, one in here, to get the maximum, and I'm going to bring the bottom part back down like that. Then grab this part, bring the bottom part there, and that should be a tight fit. So let's okay, and that's a pretty good fit. I took this off-roading at one point, and it didn't give me any problems. So now it's just a matter of getting these. On this side here. Yeah. It's important I gotta probably zip tie these so it's not in the way. I'll be right back to get some zip tie. I'm probably going to want to keep this part on this side. So let me bring this back here. like to do here is just kind of add a little bit of a electrical tape just to kind of bring them together. This will be covered. This will all be covered. Okay. Same thing here. And a little bit up top. So this just covers them up. Now, I'm going to bring this area here and we'll start down below here and just cover these up. Slide that behind, and there you go. Give you a closer up here of the shot. Okay, there you go. So that's the camera. That's the connection there. And you can pretty much, you can just move that over to the side. So you can even put some, there's some, I also bought some wire holders that you can put right over here just to keep it intact. But really that is barely visible. You don't have to mess around with taking this off. Some other cameras that are geared for the Cybertruck, they want you to run the wires through here. I've tried it. It's just so hard. You know, it may close, but once you do this, you know, take this off the magnet, this thing flops up. And I just can't have that. But this is, I initially didn't want to do this, but this is a nice clean look to have just that piece of wiring there. And so I think this looks good. Let me turn on and let me show you how it looks. Okay, here it is. Here is the Pelsee. I turn it on. I can look all the way down to my truck, which is really cool. Okay, and here's the rear. So that's it. That's the setup. And I want to show you this here. That's the camera. All right, pretty cool. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Okay. You can see it's still, it will not close all the way. And this is the problem that I face. So when I put this here, the magnetic, when I see, if I try to move it at all, it comes off. So you are wondering, does the Pelsee P12 Pro turn off when you leave the car? I waited here for about 2 to 3 minutes and it looks like it did turn off. Let me just show you here. So it did turn off, but now that I come in the car, now that the car's unlocked, this is gonna turn right back on. So that's kind of cool that I don't really have to turn it off right away. It does turn off when the car locks after a couple minutes. I think it has to do with the power in here. So I have this set up here from ElecFresh, and the only one that the Pelsee works on is this one here. That's supposed to be the fast charging. It doesn't work on the other one. So when I did do my the power cable, which is here, I didn't use the car's. I'm sorry, I didn't use the Pelsee's power supply, or at least the power cord. I just bought my own long, thin power. Or sorry, USB-C, and I just kind of wired it all the way through and down there and up here, like I showed you guys before. And I kind of have it coming here. So what I did is just so I preserve this part here for other uses, I'm using one of these. Let me make it a little bigger here so you guys can see. I'm using one of these here, which is which is what's connected to the power supply in the Tesla down here, and I got the Pelsee plugged into it, so it still gets it's still able to power it, and let's see here, I have. And this big hunkin' thing here is powered by this here. So this is powering all this, and here I have the Pelsee plugged in. I have the others, I have another USB, and I have this its own built-in USB that I use out here to charge. And this way I'm also able to use this other one here to charge phones at somewhat fast, all coming off of this one here from Electrofresh. So everyone's gonna have their own setup, but if you do use the power charger that's here in the Tesla to just power the Pelsee, you're going to be limited. And so getting yourself something like this that is able to charge faster gives you a lot more options. I have 4 of the ability to not only plug in the Pelsee, but I'm ability to use 4 other chargers here. One is an older iPhone charger, which hopefully most of you are transitioning out of. That we can all use USB-C, but you guys can get any type of charger. Just make sure it's more of a higher amperage and faster charging. But this is what's worked for me, and this is how I power this. I don't even have to use its own power cord or to power it. So I was able to get a long USB-C to USB, and that's how I did this. All right, thank you.